Mr. Zelnick, you and your associates are being charged with completely destroying the original Grand Theft Auto Trilogy's legacy and releasing an unfinished, broken product to the public for a AAA price tag. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. Do you like my abs?
No, Mr. Zelnick, I don't. They're old and gross. Now please put something more appropriate on. This is a courtroom, not your Grindr profile.
I'm sorry. There we go. Not guilty, Your Honor.
Not guilty. Alright, I'll be the judge of that. Court is now in session. About a year after getting my PS1 for Christmas '96, Grand Theft Auto was released. And though I never got very far in it, stealing cars, running pedestrians over and getting chased by the cops brought me so much joy that the words Grand, Theft and Auto, a phrase I had no real understanding of at the time, was engraved into my brain. Then 2 years later, its sequel released on the mighty Sega Dreamcast. And though many were disappointed it wasn't fully 3D, it instantly became my go-to Dreamcast game. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that GTA 3 would pull a Mario 64, leap out into the third dimension and make gaming history. But in November 2001, as I read through this very issue of Games Master, I realised that my dreams had become a reality. And when I finally got my hands on it that Christmas, it exceeded all my expectations and then some. And though we didn't know it at the time, for most of us, GTA 3 would be the first fully 3D open world video game we'd ever play. What could be better than this? Well, we didn't have to wait long to find out, because only a year later, Vice City was released. And without question, one of my most cherished gaming memories is taking control of Tommy Vercetti for the very first time, jumping on a moped and having MJ's Billie Jean start playing as I began cruising around the city I'd be calling home for the foreseeable future. What could be better than this? Well, how about the best-selling game on the best-selling console of all time, San Andreas? And though I'd like to say Vice City's my favourite from the original trilogy, hours don't lie. And the amount of hours I put into San Andreas was probably more than any game I'd played up until that point. A true juggernaut, a worthy send-off for my favourite generation of consoles. But as time passed and our beloved PS2s and Xboxes became last gen, it was suddenly impossible to play the trilogy on newer hardware without some content getting lost, changed, or even broken in the process of porting them over. But thankfully, over the years, people have fixed and modified the PC versions, not just keeping these games alive, but also modifying them in such a way that they stay as true as possible to their console originals. Even so, we still wanted more. What with all these HD collections popping up left and right, many GTA fans felt that the original trilogy deserved an official HD remake, and in 2001, we thought our prayers were about to be answered. In 2005, a modder discovered a sex minigame hidden within San Andreas. This infamous mod was dubbed by its creator as Hot Coffee. Now, let's get one thing clear, this mod only unlocked what was already on the San Andreas disc. The entirety of this minigame was created solely by Rockstar. And to cut a long story short, Hot Coffee went nuclear, and in 2009, Take-Two agreed to pay over $20 million to settle the class action suit, offering anyone who was offended by Hot Coffee a refund. After that, Rockstar's relationship with the modding community became distant but not completely broken, and that's more or less how it stayed until around 2015 when Take-Two, Rockstar's parent company, started to gently take a flamethrower to the GTA modding community, giving out DMCAs like Jim Carrey in The Grinch, even going after a save file that just allowed players to skip GTA 4's main story and jump straight to the DLC. These actions taken by Take-Two have not only turned modders against them, but gamers in general. In August 2021, Strauss Zelnick, yes, that is his real name, CEO of Take-Two, had this to say.
In terms of takedowns, we're pretty flexible, frankly. That said, if the economy is threatened, or if there's bad behavior, and we know how to define that, then we would issue a takedown notice.
Sounds like a lot of bureaucratic gibbery-jew.
While at least sounding reasonable, Take-Two continued with its war on mods, which is absolutely ridiculous because mods are required to run the original GTA trilogy on PC because the ports are so broken. Same goes for all the other Rockstar games I've purchased from Steam over the years. Bully, Manhunt, Max Payne, all requiring third-party mods and patches just to be able to play them. So Take-Two and Rockstar are fine with taking our money for games that don't bloody work, but when modders go about fixing their games so us gamers can play the games that we paid for, Take-Two go full 6 stars on their arse. Then, all of a sudden, you no longer required mods to play the original GTA Trilogy on PC. Not because Rockstar had fixed them or anything, no, but because in early October 2021 they completely removed them from Steam, then announced that the remastered trilogy would be coming soon. And a few weeks later, on the 22nd of October, Rockstar released a gameplay trailer for Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. And while it looked a little weird, I, like most gamers, was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt and waited for its release on the 11th of November.
And it's our job to serve consumers and to deliver more value than what we charge, as much as possible to make them happy. We listen to the feedback. We care about consumer feedback. Our job is to make the highest quality entertainment, to deliver it effectively wherever consumers are. That's what we try to do.
Come on, watch it!
It was one of, if not the, worst video game launch I've ever been a part of. Firstly, on PlayStation consoles, the game unlocked a couple of hours too early, causing the trilogy to be pulled from the PSN until the official 7 PM release time. Next, when me and my other PC Master Race brethren went to boot it up on our PCs via the Rockstar launcher, nothing. Turns out, the Rockstar launcher had been completely taken down. Not just the new GTA trilogy, the whole thing. So nobody on PC could play any game that required the Rockstar launcher at all. For 2 days, and when it came back online, the definitive edition was gone. A game we paid nearly 60 quid for, vanished. Then we found out why.
Oh my god!
Yep, that's right. In the month of November, in the year of 2021, Hot Coffee and Rockstar Games were making headlines once again, leaving older gamers such as myself asking strangers we passed on the street,
What year is it?
Not only was the Hot Coffee mod found, but a bunch of licensed music Rockstar no longer had the rights to use. Now you might be wondering how such a mistake could occur, but when you realise that the Definitive Edition is nothing more than the buggy, watered down mobile ports from the same studio that's already famous for ruining GTA games, fed into Unreal Engine 4 by an AI that couldn't give a damn, everything starts to make sense. 2 days later, on the 15th, after the Hot Coffee files had been removed, the Definitive Edition came back online. Video games that changed the face of gaming as we knew it, now left in the hands of big business, to be outsourced to an incapable, understaffed developer and put through the digital meat grinder and churned out so Take-Two had something to sell for the holiday season. Well, Merry fucking Christmas. And when given instructions from Rockstar's testers, Grove Street Games had the balls to complain.
I am not your slave.
These were Grove Street Games' notes after receiving feedback from Rockstar's quality assurance team. Stupid exception. If the trailer is flipped and the cab isn't, the testers care, I guess. Do this at the fade, because testers are complaining that they can see the dissolve of the dead ped. Come on. An unstable frame rate, broken textures, rain, just lots of rain, smashing into invisible objects, cars appearing out of nowhere, and that was just my first hour playing GTA 3 Definitive Edition. Gone was the gritty, atmospheric Liberty City I grew up with, replaced with this bastardised, plastic, super dark for some reason, child-friendly Fortnite-looking thing. Just look at the rain effect on the original GTA 3. I always loved how the raindrops moved across the screen and matched up with the car's momentum, making the TV screen feel like it was the windshield of the car you were driving. But pop that on hold for a second, because 2021 wants a word.
Well, I love a rainy night. This will I love a rainy night.
Vice City on the surface seemed to suffer the least. I mean, sure, the character models were horrendous and Tommy Vercetti looked like beautiful Squidward, but in motion, at night time, with the neon lights and fancy reflections, you did get a glimpse of what could have been. So I carried on playing, despite the glitches and bugs, despite the butchered soundtrack and lack of Billie Jean and Kate Bush's wow. Life gave me some 60 quid lemons and I was just trying to make some lemonade. That was until I reached the mission Gun Runners, when you have to break open the crates and collect the guns. Only for me, they didn't break open, making the mission impossible to complete, which left me wondering just what on earth was I doing with my life. How can a game I played 2 decades ago play better and have less glitches than its brand new remaster? What dark dimension have I slipped into? It was at this point I put down Vice City Definitive Edition for good, and with great caution I stepped into San Andreas, which is the game that suffered the most in this Definitive Edition. One of the greatest video games ever made, reduced to nothing more than a few memes, and I'd be here all day listing the amount of glitches and bugs this game had at release. The lack of draw distance hiding fog while flying made the game seem like a Roblox map. Cutscenes, again, were still so dark. And the character models are more frightening than anything my most twisted nightmares could conjure. The game's like it's had a fight with a Dementor and lost. It's had all the life and atmosphere sucked out of it. I mean, you know there's something wrong when a game requires a 17GB update 2 weeks after its release. That's not a patch, that's an entire game. San Andreas was, to me, the crowning jewel in the 6th generation of consoles crown, and for this to be younger gamers' introduction to it is a crying shame. So as we all raged at the state of the trilogy, Rockstar went dark. Then a week later, on the 22nd of November, they emerged with an apology, basically admitting that the game is a regurgitated digital abomination that doesn't meet their quality standards, nor the players. Then there was some stuff about members of the development team being harassed on Twitter, never a good thing, but at least there was a silver lining to this cloud. Everyone who purchased the Definitive Edition on PC would receive the original PC games for free. So players who missed out on getting the games on Steam would still be able to download, add the essential mods, and experience the real definitive editions of these games. And as far as I know, console gamers got diddly squat. About a month later, on the 19th of January, Zelnick was asked about the disastrous launch of the Definitive Edition, and his response couldn't have been more out of touch and disconnected with reality. He said,
With regards to the GTA Trilogy, that was actually not a new title. That was a remaster of pre-existing titles. We did have a glitch in the beginning. That glitch was resolved, and the title has done just great for the company.
That response just goes to show you how little Take-Two really care about what happened. As long as they can sell 9-year-olds golden planes in GTA 5 for 70 quid or whatever, the rest of us can eat cake and all watch Rockstar's reputation go up in flames. So, Mr. Zelnick, Rockstar Games, Grove Street Games, for completely destroying the original Grand Theft Auto trilogy's legacy and releasing an unfinished, broken product to the public for a AAA price tag, I find you guilty on all charges. And on behalf of all gamers, I revoke the free pass we've given your games over the years simply because it had that little yellow symbol, which now stands for nothing. From here on out, you start from scratch. And as for GTA 6, good luck to us all.
Is that it?
Yes, that's it, you pillock. Hello everyone, Tominator here. Thanks for staying to the end. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel over the last few days. And if you're new here and you like new content that seems like it's from 2010, oh mate, stick around. Oh, and leave us a like and a comment if you really want to help me out. Hasta la vista, baby.